Hello and welcome to another YouTube video. Today I wanted to talk a lot about procrastination. You've probably wanted to stop procrastinating for the longest time and you feel like you're falling into that trap every single day, no matter what you try to do. And today I wanted to give you a little bit of advice, a few tips that you can take on board if you really want to get as much done as possible in one day. Every single thing that I do, every single thing that I'm trying to do takes up a lot of time, and sometimes it can be extremely overwhelming. I found that early in my journey, I struggled to get everything done in one day, which would result in me staying up as late as possible to get everything done. I always tried my absolute best to get everything done on my to-do list. But there are things that I've put in place, different systems, different strategies that have helped me quite a lot. And I wanted to talk about them here today. And over the next while, I will try to get better with my editing. So it's not just going to be me sitting in front of the camera like this, but it will also be me having different pop-ups on screen and stuff like that. It takes up a lot of time, and right now there are so many different things that I'm doing. Let me just get a little piece of paper, as I wanted to show you something before we start this video. The first thing that I have started doing a while ago, and I've learned it from the Diary of the CEO, it was Stephen Bartlett who was speaking about signal and noise. And Steve Jobs used to have this thing where he would pick the 3 to 5 most necessary things that he would get done in the next 18 hours, and that was his sole focus. The things that he had to get done were signals, and everything else was the noise. 3 to 5 things every single day that are the most important to your mission, to what you want to accomplish. The 5 most important things that will move you towards your dreams, your goals, your biggest aspirations. Those are the signals. And I've created here a list of signals and noise. And basically, it's as simple as having the two on a piece of paper. So on one side you have signals, on one side you have noise. And as you can see, I don't have much noise there because I've been focusing on all of the signals today. My signals for today, just to give you an example of what I mean by it, is 4 things that I need to get done today, no matter what the external distractions are. The first one was all client check-ins. So checking in with all of my online clients, and I'm also in person today as well with a few people. So that is my number one priority today, to make sure, more importantly, that I check in online with every single person that I'm training. Those are the people who are paying me. Those are my clients. So they are my number one priority every single day. These are the people that I'm trying to help, that I'm trying to take as much care of as possible. Then the next thing I had on the list was to work on my 30 days of emails. Then the next thing was a Stand Store call. So there is this challenge that I'm doing over the next while with the Stand Store. And over the next while, I have different calls and different things that I'll be doing and creating with them. So I'm very excited for that. But the point is that is a signal. That is one of the things that I need to do today. And then the last thing on the list that I had was my gym session and my run session. Every single day, no matter what, I get some sort of exercise in. Today, it is a bit of a harder day. It is a gym and a run. That's why I'm creating this video a little bit later in the day, as today was pretty busy up to this point. I still have quite a lot to do. But the point is that those are my signals. So for the next 18 hours, so that's since I've woken up, those are the things that I have to get done. They are the priority. Obviously, there are a lot of different things that I would be doing in my day. For example, I might be doing my meditation, my reading, my different sort of habits. But those are things that don't take priority. The thing that takes priority is all of the things that will move me towards my goals, towards my dreams. So those are the big tasks of the day. The reason for that is, obviously, every single thing that I'm doing to improve myself is key and absolutely necessary. For example, eating healthy, meditation, writing, reading, clearing my mind. Those are things that don't take up much time, and those are things that I've made a habit out of over the last couple of years, really. So these aren't things that I necessarily struggle with. These are the things here on this list that I would find uncomfortable. And you're probably wondering, would I still find the gym and running uncomfortable? Yes, every single day is a challenge. And My mindset now from training for so many years is I don't look forward to training. I don't look forward to necessarily going into the gym or going on my runs, as I train very hard. And if you train very hard, that's not something that you're going to be looking forward to. If you are looking forward to every single training session, you're not training hard enough, in my opinion. There are sessions and there are different things you can do in the gym that you'll enjoy more than others. For example, yesterday I went to the gym and I trained shoulders. So that is something that I really enjoy doing. Although it is still challenging, it is something that is not as bad as, say, going into the gym today and training legs. That takes a lot more out of me, and legs are by far and have always been my strongest body part, so I can fuck them up as much as possible and really push myself in that area. So signal to noise ratio, I have a few notes in front of me. I really wanted to structure this video as much as possible and try to give you the best things I've learned over the last while. So those are basically the critical things, the signals, and the noise is all of the distraction. Anything that stops you is the noise. And I found, for example, for myself, as somewhat of a creative person, someone who wants to start new things constantly, I simply found that whenever I was trying to focus on something, my focus would go somewhere else, as now I had a new idea and I really wanted to move towards that. I really wanted to explore that new idea. And for a long time, I would basically start new things all the time, and it would take my focus off of the things that I originally had planned. So the main thing that I really try to focus on now is, let's just say, for example, I had the 30 days of emails that I really want to send out to everybody. There are over 3,000 people who are subscribed to my newsletter, so every single day they're receiving these free emails. But the point is that over the next 30 days, I wanted to create at least one or two every single day. And I didn't want to be in a position where I put my focus and my attention on something else and I forget about the actual task at hand. I used to do it all the time, and it used to be something that just took me off center, and that is simply what was distracting me. Another thing that I have learned is how many things you are able to say no to. So for example, I have these tasks over the next 18 hours from the point I've written them, and everything that comes up I might be intrigued by. Let's just say it is Friday night. I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot of work to do every single day, but let's just say it's Friday night and I know that there are things that I need to do, but my friends ask me if I want to go out for a few drinks. This happens quite often, and I've learned from a pretty young age to be able to say no to those types of things. But in terms of learning how to say no, these are saying no to things that you would actually want to do. So of course I would want to hang out with my friends and do certain things over sitting at home on the laptop and doing work on a Friday evening. But the point is that I have certain things that I want to achieve over the next while. So this is simply what takes priority. If you have good friends, they understand. All of my friends understand that there are things that I'm focusing on. They always say, listen, bro, I understand. You've things to do. If you want to come out next week, let me know. They always kind of check in and make sure I'm okay, which is great. But the point is that these signals are the things that I'm trying to focus on. I'm trying to build something bigger than I can even perceive in my mind right now. But the point is that that's going to take a lot of effort. That's going to take a lot of sacrifice. And that's sort of the next thing that I kind of want to get into. So, making sacrifices today for a better tomorrow. Making small sacrifices today for gain in the future. And that is the way to look at it. What are you sacrificing today for a better tomorrow? If you, for example, are in a position right now where you really want to just sit down, relax, you've had a hard day at work, and I understand it's very hard to work a full day and then after that go to the gym, but let's just say that's something you've set in your mind that you're going to do every single day, no matter how you feel, or however many times a week. That is something that you have to do. And that is called sacrifice. You're sacrificing today the uncomfortable feeling of training, and you're sacrificing that for a healthier, stronger, better version of you in the future. You see where I'm going? So there are things that you want to do, and there are things that you should do. And that is basically what sacrifice is. So yeah, how do you say no to these things? Ask yourself, and ask yourself, what are you saying no to? Because it's very important to know these sort of things. The next thing I really wanted to talk about is not taking enough risk. If there's something that you want to do, but you're not sure whether to do it, that is the risk. If you're not sure, if you're asking yourself, will this work out? Will I be able to make this a reality? That is risk. That is when you have to jump in and go for it. Give yourself 1 year. Give yourself 1 year to fail as much as possible. The more you fail, the more you learn. I have it here. Failure is feedback. Feedback is knowledge, and knowledge is understanding. Understanding exactly how you're going to make this work will take time. So give yourself 1 year from today. If you want to start something new, give yourself 1 year from today to make it work, and fail as much as possible. Try new things, experiment with different ideas in your mind, or really try to step outside of your comfort zone and really go for the ideas that you might have in your mind, because they might work. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is a little bit of a different video. I tried to make something educational in terms of learning the difference between signals and noise. And as I said, I haven't created this myself. I seen it from Stephen Bartlett, the Diary of the CEO, and I just thought that it was very interesting, and it's something that I've tried to do over the last week or two. It's something new that I've learned, but it's interesting. And it's pretty obvious too, because if you think about it, none of this is information that you haven't really heard before. It's just formatted in a different way, and it's a mindset. What's the signals? What's the noise? What are the distractions? What is my mission? So that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you got something out of it. As I said, I will be back tomorrow with another video. I am basically trying to create these as I go. The YouTube video isn't a signal for me today. There are things that I have to do today which are a little bit of a higher priority, but I promised myself that I would be doing this every single day. So here I am, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.